Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the show. This right here is Humble Beginnings, where we simply live it through. And I am your host, KJ. Today, we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to talk about this thing called expectations, especially within the realm of these relationships. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring my team in so we can go ahead and get this thing popping. First up, I got my brother Kev C in the building. What's up?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. You?
Good, man. Good.
Man.
Also, I got Caprice back in the building, holding it down.
What's
going
up?
on with you, ma'am?
I'm tired.
Cool. No, that's okay. Got my little bro Nate back in the building, repeat offender. Come on, what's up?
Hey, yo.
And of course, always rocking with me is Matty B. Definitely in the building. What's up, bro?
Chilling, man. Let's do it again.
All right, people. So, today we're going to talk about this thing called expectations. A lot of this has been inspired from not the last video, but the video before when we were talking about the responsibilities and whatnot. And, we could just get straight into this thing, man. Before we direct it to the expectations, I got a couple questions I want to ask first before we narrow this thing down. But the first question up is, do men and women really know what they want? Do men and women really know what they want? And I'm asking this because before we start talking about an expectation, first of all, we got to understand, do we even know what the hell we want about it? You know what I'm saying? So that's the question that we're going first. Do men and women really know what they want? Matt, man, talk to me, man. Start this thing off, man.
I would say no to that. I think most people, they wants come from outside sources of people they're around, the things they see on TV, on social media. But I don't think people really take time to learn themselves to even know what they personally want.
Okay. Nate, talk to me, man. Do men and women really know what they want?
So I think men know what they want. Women, I don't think they know what they want because they don't know how to decide what they want to eat or who should drive. But that's just me personally.
Okay. That's one for the men right there. Matt sounded pretty neutral. Caprice, talk to me, man. Yo, do they do either one know what they want?
In general, no. I think that stuff that they say they want is really surface, shallow things, but they don't really know what they want until they experience the things that they don't want.
Okay. I gotta talk to my counselor now, man. He gonna set us straight. Kev, talk to me, man. Do we know what we want up out here, man?
Yes and no. I think men and women know exactly what they want. I think that men know what we want. We just horrible at communicating it. And women know what they want depending on where they at in life. So it changes.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. I think that we definitely know what we want. I think we just, some of us are not aware or not willing to do what it takes to get to where we need to be or to get what we want. But I definitely think we have the understanding of what it is that we want. All right, we're gonna get a little stronger. First of all, so this is the next one. Does the standard or this expectation, some people like to say standard, some people like to say expectation.
What's the difference?
They're one and the same because in the definition of expectation, it does have standard in there. So they're one and the same, you know what I'm saying? I know some people real picky on the words that they use, but for most people, their expectations are their standards. You know what I'm saying? So it's that. Does the standard start with us? Does these standards or expectations start with us? Caprice, talk to me. Do you believe they start with us?
Yes. Your standards and your expectations.
Wait. You got this computer love thing going on right now. What you saying? Hold on. Try one more. You got you sound like you full robotic over there. Now I can hear you, but you sound full robotic right now. Oh, we'll come back to you. Nate, talk to me. Just a little bit.
All right, I do believe that expectations come from the person themselves because you got to know what you want and willing to expect something from somebody else.
Okay. Matt, talk to me. You believe it starts with us?
As far as when you say starts with us, can
Do
you
the
break
standard
that
or
down a little bit?
expectation starts with us?
To the standard that we have for other people, or the standard for a relationship in general, like the standard.
Really, expectations in life, period. Do they start with you?
Yeah, I would definitely say most things, and that's one of them, starts with self, and learning self. So I think a lot of times people haven't learned themselves first before they. I mean, you're gonna have wants before you even fully know yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're born with wants and needs and things you admire and things you want in your life, but you don't fully even learn yourself till later on in life. So I think until you fully, well, you never fully know yourself because you're always involving, but until you have a better sense of self and a better knowledge of self, it's going to be changing more sporadically. And once you kind of like grow into maturity, you start to know yourself a little better, then I think those standards and wants will be more solid and have a foundation to go off from.
Cool. Kev, what's up, man? You
I
think it
think
starts with
I
us,
think
man?
I think standards start with us, but expectations start with other people. I think we set our standard, but we don't know what they expect till other people show us what they expect.
Okay, so you think the expectation builds after the fact? Okay.
But I think that even though you can have a standard of someone treating you good, but you have expectations of someone doing it because you've seen other people treat people good. It's actually possible that people can do it. So you go off of what people show, not off of what you want.
Caprice, talk to me. Do you believe it starts with us? We can't hear you.
She said she agreed with me. So I guess
Hold up, I will.
You might have to put out and let it come back in or something.
Yeah,
She muted now.
You might have
You
to go
muted now,
back,
Caprice.
back in. We see you.
Unmute, Caprice.
Oh, you might have to go grab the headphones. All right, we're gonna keep this thing moving right along. We're moving right along. So since I got the fellas here, let's talk about this thing, man. What is the expectation for dating right now, fellas? Like, what is this thing about, man? I hear people say all the time, dating is just dating. You know what I'm saying? Typically don't seem to lead like a path to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So like, what is this thing, man? What is the expectation for dating right now? Matt, talk to me.
I think it varies from person to person, of course. I would say as far as the general sense you get is people are just having fun and people are just dating just to know each other, meet new people. I think since this social media has been around very recent, even though 15 years now, it's still a pretty new thing to a lot of people. So a lot of people haven't adapted well to that yet. So I think it's kind of like a fun thing right now, I think in time people will start taking more serious or even have a goal of where they want to go with dating. Because a lot of people are just, it's just the excitement of meeting new people, meeting people from all walks of life, meeting people in different states and everything. So I think there's no expectation right now other than having fun and knowing people for the most part.
Okay, cool. Nate, talk to me, man. What is
All
the
right.
expectation for dating right now, man?
I feel like the expectations for me for dating is balance. Like financially, can you provide for me like I can provide for you?
Wait. You want all that from dating?
Yeah.
Damn, that's kind of fast though, just from dating.
Well, if it's gonna be a person I'm dating and I'm gonna take the next step, I'd rather we get it then the first step, then the next step.
Oh, you one of them head over heel brothers. Okay, I
You
feel
like
you.
the dude from last, your boy from
Okay,
last week,
okay,
man.
I feel you.
Out the gate.
Yeah, man. Talk to me, man. What is the expectation out here, man? Like, what how they moving?
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Oh yeah,
all over the place.
my bad. I should have known because I remember you was in the last show. That was one of your questions. What is the purpose?
Yeah. I said that. Yeah, I kind of agree with Matt. I think it just depends on the person, but things are so divisive now. Like you don't really know half the time. So it's like people might have an expectation to have fun. People might have an expectation to get married. People might have an expectation to have kids. Like you don't know half the time. So it's really about getting to know somebody, but do you really take the time to? It's the question. So dating, I don't know, man. I just feel like dating is just self-serving at this point.
That's how I take it now. I just go into every woman I meet and just play it by the day. You know, it ain't really no long-term goal. So this female may be good for sex. This other female may be a good conversationist. Somebody go out and eat and have great conversation. So I take it how it is. But I mean, if I see somebody that's serious and I want to be serious and we align, then I go to that next step. But in general, as far as dating, I just, hey, get the benefits from everyone. And that's what pretty much doing. They're just getting certain benefits that they need to fill in their life from different people.
Cool.
I want to hear what Capri say, but I got a question after she said what she said.
Okay. Caprice, talk to me, man. What is the expectations for dating nowadays? What is this about, man?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
There we go.
At the
Am
moment,
I robotic?
Nah, you sound good right now.
Go in and
All
rap.
right, so what's the question?
What is the expectation for dating right now?
There is no expectation.
Just like that,
I
straightforward.
don't think you should put expectation on dating. I think you should have your standards and keep your standards to yourself. But if you put that onto the person, they could easily lie to you.
Okay. I feel you. Cam, you said you had a question. What's your question, man?
Yeah. So what's the standard for dating? How are we supposed to date? What's the reason for it?
So I'll chime in because I didn't ask. I think the expectation and the standard for this whole dating thing really is just to see if I even like you. Like I think simple enough. It's just really just to see if I even like you, dog. Like before we can talk about anything else, I don't even know if I like you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that expectation or standard is that. Like I'm literally only here to see if I like you. Because I do agree when I hear people keep saying that dating is dating. Like a date is just a date. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever your intentions you may move forward into, I get it. But I think even the standard of it, I think it's just really just to see if I even like you, dog. Or if I want to even get to the point, like I like you enough to even want to move to like the courting process. You know what I'm saying? I think it's really just that. See if I even like you.
Yeah, and especially when you meeting people that y'all haven't met in like a common area that y'all both like be at. Like say example, someone meets in church and they in church every week. There's a similarity between the two, and there's already a common ground that they can build from. So they kind of have, if their church is like say example a singles ministry and they promoting marriage, they speaking about that. They kind of have even though they still should stay there, you still shouldn't put those expectations on someone to hold them to that. They kind of have an idea of what some of the person's interests are. But today, when you just meeting people, you only know them 10 seconds. I got her number. I met a girl at the gas station the other day. Hey, you look nice. Hey, I would like to get to know you. I only know her 10 seconds. What kind of expectations can I really put on her? Now, I don't know. This person could be a witch. You know what I'm saying? This person might not even be a woman. Who knows the crazy stuff that go out in the world today, So it's hard to kind of put expectations on how people meet today based on old times where you kind of grew up around people. Like I said, one of the podcasts before, kind of grew up around people, knew them for a while. Your family knew their family. Is a little different than now. Or y'all went to the same church from 6 to 18, 19, 20, and y'all always kind of knew about each other. That's why I believe a lot of those relationships lasted a little more longer. But nowadays, man, it ain't no expectations really.
Cool. I got a question.
So
Go ahead.
Caprice, so you're not gonna say your standards up front?
You mean let her know what my standards is?
Well, I think he was asking.
I was asking Caprice. He said you should keep your standards to yourself. So you're not gonna tell him your standards?
She froze. Caprice.
Oh,
see,
I know better than that.
Timmy.
Oh man, you sound like a DJ right now, dog. You mixing and all that good stuff right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
But
I don't know what's going on.
But I know one thing though. I know Matt and Capri share that same stance though. That's actually
About not sharing standards.
Well,
How I sound though?
I think it's still kind of like you're talking to a fan. Like skipping.
That's exactly what that sounds like.
I'm gonna get my headphones.
All right, perfect.
Do that. So since we on this, because that seems like where we're going. That was a couple questions down, but we will go ahead and address it since Kel brought it up. Do you believe that there should be transparency up front?
I say I definitely believe transparency is okay up front, because I believe you could you could be transparent without putting pressure on someone. I guess kind of the way old boy was saying the last time, like the way he was explaining it, it kind of felt like he was putting those standards on someone, but the pressure as well. I don't think you should put pressure on someone until you fully get to know them. But you could be transparent about what I want, what I'm looking for, what type of woman I want. But you don't have to be like, I need you to be this. You know what I'm saying? So I could be cool with knowing a woman, and then those conversations happening in the natural flow of the conversation. Be like, I want to be married one day. I'm looking for a wife that's I don't know the word for it, but pretty much a wife that's not like out in the streets or that's not like too fast. I believe you can let those be known from the gate. The pressure part is where I'm a little indifferent about.
Okay, you gonna respond?
Yeah. I mean, so you're talking about pressure as far as like trying to make her be that, or the pressure of telling her like this is what I want?
Nah, if you're telling her that's what you want, in the flow of the conversation, of y'all having just natural conversations, that's cool, But yeah, if you meet her from the gate and you like, hey, I'm looking for you to be a wife, this is the reason I'm out on this date. I'm trying to see if you can go that way. I believe that's when those things, are more detrimental to you than helpful,
No, I feel like it's helpful because it cuts out a lot of time on it. Like, I'm gonna say, hey, this is what I need. This is what I have my standards are in life. Either you fit that or you don't. And we can cut this off first date. We gone. That's
it could if you meet a woman that's just as transparent as you. But typically that's not the case. A lot of times she may want to get to know you, but may not even know if she want to take those steps first. She's not going to give you the answer you want, because you already said if she give you the answer you don't want, is cut it off at the first date. But what if she think you're attractive? What if she do feel like you got potential and she want to see where it goes? She's going to be like, okay, let me at least give him that from the first out the gate, and let me see where this goes. And then maybe a month, 2-3 months down the line, she don't even want that, and then you still wasted time. Because at the end of the day, a person gonna get to know you regardless of you putting those standards at the beginning or not. They ain't gonna say just because you put those standards out, I'm going down that lane. They're gonna get that. That process is gonna happen either way. So why not just let it happen naturally?
Yeah, I get that. My thing is, I guess for me, I don't care what she think the potential is at that point, because my thing is, I'm going off of this is the standards that I have, my non-negotiables, whatever the case is, and she can feel attractive all she wants to. If she ain't gonna do it, she ain't gonna do it. And it's like, I kind of look at it like, if I have a standard for somebody to come on the court and dunk, no matter how much they lie about how they can do it, they can put on shorts, they can put on a uniform. If they can't dunk, they can't dunk. so it don't matter. You might as well just get it out of the way.
But if I hire a temp worker and I tell him I want you to be here 3 years and one day become a manager, but he only has in his goal that he only want to be there 6 months and he knows he out because it's a temp. It's a temp move for him. He's not going to tell me, oh man, I'm only going to be here 6 months, so you can go and let me go. Nah, he's going to do them 6 months and resign and say, you know what, I always had this going in my mind from the gate. But and if I didn't let him know that from the beginning, I would have naturally saw that by the way he moved. But now that I let him know that he's going to move, like I plan on being here 3 years. But in his head, he still got that 6 months in his head. And then I'm jumping to this other career.
Mm-hmm.
Where you could just watch people naturally and see who wants to be there or around you and see who don't want to be there. Because people will naturally show you who you are when you don't place those standards on them. When you put it on them, okay, I know how to move. Are you giving them the playbook to show you what they want to show you?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't believe in giving nobody the playbook to fool me.
Yeah. I guess at that point, I would naturally let somebody show me who they are while I go naturally talk to somebody else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and that's what the point is. The point is, I think with dating, I think it ain't like how I think with dating, a lot of times we typically look at one person and we don't have a abundance mind frame. We meet one person and we like that person, or we check that person, like, okay, and what that creates is now you don't have that like variety to even choose from or even take your mind off that. So now we try to force her to be everything that we need because we only dealing with that one female. Nah, just the same way you got homeboy that you rock with, just start meeting females, be going out, meet different people, talk to different people. And the one that stands out, the one that, trust me, if a female want to be married, they're gonna pressure you to do that. Most dudes get pressured by females to do that anyway. So if female really rocking with a dude, if she really rocking with a dude, she's gonna have that pressure on him to marry her or to make her his girl in most cases anyway. So you can see what female is pressuring. Okay, this is the female that seems like she really want to be here. She really vibing with me. I go that way with her and cut these other females off.
Now I do feel like people do put too many eggs in one basket. I will agree with that.
Mm-hmm. I used to. I'm a victim of that. You know, I meet one girl that I really like, and I cut the other four off. And now every time I'm bored, I'm calling that one girl, blowing her up. I need you to go out.
So you lost 5. You lost 5 at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't lost the grind. You know, every time now you're desperate. Now when you're around her, you a little more touchy feely now because you don't have nothing else even going for yourself. So you kind of like push that person away.
So, Miss Izzy, I want you to chime in on this, man. We're having a conversation about should we expect transparency in the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Like when you get with somebody, should you let them know, like, yo, this is what I want up front, or should you kind of hold back off that? Talk to me, man. What you think?
Well, I feel like naturally, I don't think that it would do anybody service to be completely transparent about like everything, you know what I mean? Because at that point, I feel like you're really getting to know someone, but you don't have to like let them in like that. It's for women, because I'm a woman, I'm not a man, so I don't really know how men perceive things like this. It's like a protection thing because, like, let's say, for example, I'm talking to a guy and, he's trying to get to know me and, he's asking me like, where I work, what I do and all that stuff. And it's just like, obviously on a base, I feel like on like, like a base level, like, absolutely you should get to know someone, but it's like, I feel like there's like you have to earn certain things. You have to earn certain like aspects of like trust for me to like reveal certain things. So it's like depending on who you are as a person and how you're displaying, like what your pursuits are with me. I feel like that's where it warrants like, me telling you certain things. Like, service level, of course, like, that's just getting to know me. But like, on a deeper level, it's like, you have to like earn that,
I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. So you
She
basically
got a perfect podcast voice, boy.
No, right?
Exactly. That was
Like,
amazing. That was harmony.
yeah, it sounds like the Breakfast Club is Breakfast
Yeah,
Club.
exactly. That was great. I was like, whoa.
Hey, yo, Nate, talk to me, man. What you think, man? Should we put this transparency up front, man?
I do. I believe you should be blunt about things that you want and don't want, because you don't got time to be playing games and just trying to figure out what someone's thinking about or trying to read somebody. Like, if you let people know up front what you want and how you feel, things will move a lot more swiftly.
Most definitely. I mean, me personally, I believe in, like, if you're going into this situation, I believe in a person understanding who you are. Person understanding who you are and what you represent, and you know what I'm saying, where you trying to move in life. I don't think that by displaying this is pressure. Now I understand some people may take this as pressure. Like they may hear this and be like, oh, you want all this right here? But that ain't pressure that I'm applying to you. I just simply told you how I'm rocking in my life and where I'm moving forward. Now, if you hear these things that I say and you like, whoa, oh man, you that driven as a man, you into this and this and that. Yo, that pressure you put on yourself, baby. I didn't put that on you. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel you can't keep up, then you can't keep up. But I definitely don't feel like we're responsible for that pressure. I think that is the insecurity of that person themselves. And I know that's kind of that angle where that comes from. Like when most people be like, you shouldn't do it, because so many people, when they hear certain stuff, they just be like, whoa, this might not be the thing for me. But I agree like what Kev say, man. I mean, we having a dunk contest, man, and we say, yo, we need dunkers. If you can't dunk, you can't dunk. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, if you don't fit, you don't fit. We got to move on. I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, that's how I see it too.
I feel like too many people date with trust issues. I feel like it's a certain point. I understand boundaries, but at a certain point, in order to date, you have to be willing to be open and honest about what you want and need in your life. If you know what you want and need in your life. So I don't feel like the person who knows what they want and need should not be able to communicate it because of somebody who don't know what they want and need trying to figure it out.
But remember, Kevin, we had this conversation preview about that, how quickly, I don't know if you got this on the list or maybe this would be another show, but how quickly should a person be comfortable to like open up? I know kind of Izzy touched on a little bit, and Kevin just said something about it. I know Izzy was saying about they have to earn that from you, over time. But then when I think about that too, I also think about like, it's kind of like you coming in, the guy coming in at an unlevel, at an imbalance, because he's already having to prove something for a woman to give certain qualities that guys that look for relationship commonly look for. So like, I'm not saying day one, the woman needs to be open, but when you say prove, what would be some of those things you mean by like proving it? I guess I should say.
Well, for me, honestly, like in general, I think like the communication between both like people who are dating need to be open in terms of like, what you want from the relationship. Like, I think you need to know like I think you'll be able to like, approach things in like an ideal manner when you know what the relationship is. Like if you're just having fun, if you're dating to marry. I mean, again, maybe this is not going to come out on the first date, but like eventually when you're opening up and you're seeing that person, you're going to get to know their patterns. You're going to get to know like, again, their pursuits in terms of the relationship. And you're going to open up in terms of like, like, okay, he wants to marry me. This is how I'm going to move accordingly. Or he wants to date me. Okay, this is how I'm going to move accordingly. And this is how I'm going to open up in that regard, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a question for the panel, Kev, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, brother.
What should we discuss on the first date?
I think. Go ahead, Matt.
I think on the first date it's also based on like how you met them, right? If you kind of got a history, but I guess I'm going off if you have no history or no one says that. But you just met them through a mutual friend, or you randomly got their number, then I would say that first date is just trying to know what they're into and what they're not into as far as hobbies, as far as their likes and dislikes, as far as what type of person they are. But I wouldn't go like too deep on the first date, like asking too many I would ask some personal questions, but I wouldn't be like pressured on those personal questions if I'm trying to go far. I would be like, hey, so what have you been doing over the last 6 months? What's your routine? Like, what do you like to do for fun? What do you like? Stuff like that. And then also I would get a little bit personal with them, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you got any kids? Have you been to college and stuff like that? But like ask them about like previous damages, like real deep things. I wouldn't ask none of those the first date, of course, but like standard things just to know a little bit more about the person. Also, just enjoying that time too, living in the moment. Because I think sometimes when we go on first dates, it's questions. I've heard women say, I feel like interrogation. I feel like we ain't even enjoying the time. So sometimes we got to ask a few questions, but also just enjoying the moment with that person. We are here to have a good time. So I think it should be a balance of both, more having a good time and throwing a few questions here. They're just knowing about the person, me personally.
Mm.
Yo, Nate, what you think, man? What y'all talking about on that first date?
On the first date, I think you should discuss like your common interests and the things that you guys don't have anything in common with.
Okay. Easy. What y'all talking about on that first date, man?
Truly, with me, the way I operate, I'm a huge listener. So like I observe, like, because like every bit of information is like, information that you need about that person, like body language, how they carry themselves, how they dress. So it's like on the first date, like I'm just like a huge observer of essence. I'm not really huge into like interviewing people because no one wants to be interrogated. That's not fun for anybody. Like someone said, I forgot who said that, but it's not supposed to be this interrogation of like, of all these past traumas and hurt. Because like sometimes it can come off in the wrong way. I think just like, there's a reason why you guys decided to even like, go on a date. So it's like, just enjoy the essence, get to feel the vibe, pay attention to like, how they treat other people, not even just yourself, because they're trying to impress you. Like pay attention to how they're treating, like, maybe you're on a date, pay attention to how they're treating the waiter or the waitress, how they are in general, how their manners are. Because like that is like that speaks a lot about like the person in general rather than what they're telling you. Because first date is really not really like they're trying to impress you all in all. So it's like coming from a biased place, or unbiased. I'm not sure how you put that, but yeah.
Okay. Caprice, what y'all talking about on this first date, man? If you ain't frozen, you might be off.
I say she look frozen.
They talking about how to use the microphone and the camera. That's the first thing they talking
What?
What y'all talking about on the first date, man? She froze. I'm gonna go ahead and chime in.
Lagging. Am I still lagging?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, we can hear you now, but I mean, picture moving slow. I mean, I don't know what y'all got going on. But I'm gonna go ahead and chime in. So this first date, right? I always say this right here, man. Like I said, the first date is to figure out even if I really like you like that. It probably won't feel like an interrogation, but I'm interrogating the shit out of you. Let's just keep this shit up. I'm asking a lot of questions. I want to know certain shit. It's not gonna feel pressure. Like it gonna be, because whatever it is that we do, we're gonna be having a lot of fun. And I'm gonna be throwing them questions, but it's gonna still feel fun. But I'm definitely interrogating. Because that's the whole purpose of my first date in the first place, to figure out even if I even like you like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm one of them big components. I know several of my guys, we've had this conversation before. I'm only gonna pay for that first date too. Because I'm gonna pay for the experience to get to know what I need to know from you. If we go to a second date, I'm not even paying for that because I've learned everything I needed to know about you on the first date that I feel I need to know. So it's gonna be fun, but I'm definitely gonna be interrogating you. You might not feel like it, but it's definitely gonna be an interrogation. Because I need to know this, you know what I'm saying? I need to know certain things, and I don't believe in wasting time. So I don't want to waste time with you, especially when I'm going on the intention to do certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to
Well, I don't think that would be considered interrogation. I think when people use interrogation, they use it as like you're only there to pull from me. But if you're having a great time and she's enjoying the time and it's just naturally flowing like that, I don't think they would look at it as an interrogation. I think that would come from these guys that they aren't even enjoying the moment and they just feel like you just brought me here just to quiz me or just to pull questions out me. But you know, you mix it in here with a lot of fun as well. You know what I'm saying? So I think that.
I mean, we're gonna have fun, but
it kind of depends on your approach to it a little bit too. So it's like, you know, we might be having fun, and I might nudge you like, "Hey, you been to therapy lately?" Like, it might just come out.
No, that's actually a good question. I've had that even like I've asked that question before as well. Hey, have you ever had therapy in your life? It ain't necessarily saying that something's wrong with it, just to see how they open to, you know, bettering themselves. Because when people are like real, like if they get offended by it, that shows me, okay, that's the person that really ain't big on self-improvement. You know, because even if you don't agree with it, I mean, you can take it either way. But if I explain myself after you take it wrong, even if you don't agree with it, I can see what somebody say. Oh, okay, you're about bettering yourself and becoming a better person. So I can see where it can be helpful.
I mean, if we keeping it literal, I mean, an interrogation is just asking questions. It's just inquiry. That's all an interrogation is. So how you feel is not really don't have anything to do with anything. Like I'm going to be asking questions, which literally means it's an interrogation. Inquiry is literally the word. That's all that is now. So I know when we say I know we hear the word interrogation, we thinking like, oh man, it's like almost being on trial. All it is asking questions. That's it.
Well, what type of questions would you ask though?
Oh, I'm asking everything. I'm asking like, yo, so what you trying to do in the future? Like where you at right now? Like where you trying to be at in the future? You know what I'm saying? Like how you foresee your life? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm asking them type of questions. We could be bowling. As soon as I get my turn, I'm right down there. Hey, so where you trying to be at in the next 5 years? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be throwing these things in there because my objective is still there. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, this is the thing with me. If I'm there just to have fun, then I'm not this. That means this ain't a person I'm looking to try to be with neither. That means I'm looking at this person like, oh, she's just cool. But if I'm in that place in my life where I'm looking for a person, I'm not there to just have fun. You get what I'm saying? Like, I need to know what it is because then I'll be wasting my time. So if I'm just having fun, that means I'm also not viewing you like that neither. But if I'm in that place in my life where I'm like, yo, I need me a wife now, I'm interrogating the shit out of you.
Okay.
That's just how I want. All right, this one. This kind of more so for the fellas, because I know we typically have a more problem with this question right here. So, being that when we talk about dating, and we love saying dating is just dating, should we expect, because the way people move around, should we expect to see a high body count when we crossing these females? Because you know dating is just dating, but you know that dating leads to a lot of places. So what y'all think? Should we kind of expect to have a high body count on some of these joints? Nate, talk to me.
Yes and no. That's a yes and no.
Elaborate, man.
I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Man, he don't even want to get into that. Man, talk to me, man, Cam. Talk to me, man.
I say it depends on kind of how you vetted her. If you vetted her in a certain environment that you know there's probably gonna be a high body count within an environment based off of where she is, how she is, how you met her, you can expect it. But I wouldn't expect it out the gate. But I will say that it matters. And it depends on your reason for dating too. Like, you just dating just to have fun, sex, whatever. No, it don't matter then, but you plan on having the future, it matters. That history on the car matters. I don't care You don't want to know the Carfax.
Let me talk to these ladies, man. Izzy, what you think, man? You think, being with that date this day, man, you think that, it's kind of expected to have a high body count with the way these things moving around here nowadays, man? What you think?
Okay. I see both sides of this. So like I understand why that question's being asked, but I personally I don't like that question, truly. I think it's like, okay, like you're dating me for who I am right now and for what you saw in me. So it's like, why are you trying to figure out like where I've been and like all that? Like I understand it. I understand like, like because you want to know like who I am as a person. But I just feel like women don't ask men that usually, you know what I mean? So it's like, why is women always asked like, who have you been with? Like, da 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 da. I just feel like, sometimes it's like, it could be like not all men are like this. Like truly, they're trying to get to know who they're sleeping with. I get that, but some men like they try to ask that question to probably lower the value and shame women sometimes. Because like if you answer that question, you could because like if you even slept with like one person, like that guy is gonna constantly. I feel like, especially if he's insecure in himself, he's gonna constantly feel like, oh, like like. And kind of like compare and contrast himself with that. I know because I'm speaking from experience of it happening to me before, but again, like that's how I feel about that question.
Why don't women ask that question?
That's a good because like it doesn't because we know that like
You was about to say it right. It does because it doesn't really matter when it's the man.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. And plus, it's like we already know that I'm not the first person that you've slept with. You know what I mean? Like people hold women to like this high regard. People hold women to this high regard. She has to be a virgin. She has to be this, that, perfect mom, perfect girlfriend, beautiful, this, that, and the other. But it's like, there's so many questions that we're asked personally as a woman to like lower our value. And I feel like that question is one of them. I understand trying to like, get to like know, get to know like who we are as a person and like, our sexual background and the Carfax. I get that. But it's like, I just don't feel like that should be even like a question that comes up, especially in like the first like round of dating, especially not. I feel like that's like a red flag question, truly.
So you don't want to know if you're dealing with a future up front?
I mean, if I'm not, I don't know.
If you got that many kids.
Like, I just feel like.
How would you know?
You ask.
Sorry, come again. I didn't hear that.
Just like how y'all ask the women, y'all always say like, "Oh, just because she tell you don't mean that that's the truth." So why ask a question if you're not gonna believe what she say anyway?
Exactly. And that's that one question that is always like, oh, but did she really? They're always trying to constantly disprove that. Or like when like, oh, let's say you were a virgin or you like, oh, like you like slept with one person and then you guys go to have like sex, right? And then it's like, oh my God, she was so good in bed. There's no way. Like, that's that type of question where it leads to. Because like all it does is like, it has that like, you questioning her and her value and if she's actually telling the truth because you're insecure in yourself and your performance. And I feel like that's why guys ask that question. And I feel really passionate about that, truly.
So basically you ain't gonna ask me because you already know I was just a slut.
I mean, I feel like at one point everybody like, was curious and explored their sexuality. I mean, and if you haven't before me, you're gonna do it eventually. Before or after me.
Okay.
Or during, honestly, sometimes.
Matt, man, how you feel about this, man?
I got caught up in what you saying. What was the original question again? That's pretty intense. What was the original?
With the way that dating is moving, how people move around dating and whatnot, man, should we kind of expect high body count?
Yeah. I mean, you definitely should expect a high body count today. But it's kind of subjective because what we consider a high body count coming up is different than what people today consider a high body count coming up. Their standards are a little higher. So, like, you can sleep with 10, 15 guys, and I've heard people today saying that's low. You know, based on how people sleep around today, they saying that's a low body count. You know, so it's subjective to me. And where I come from, that would be considered high. But overall, I do want to know your history. I mean, I don't want to know every like intricate detail or who this person are, but I do want to know if they're being like reckless with themselves more so than the body count. Because you can rack up a high body count like nothing. Like there's girls that went to college. I met girls that came out of college, and you know they might have had that freshman year and that sophomore year where they stuck with like 20 guys, but all other parts of their life they were nothing like that, and they have good personality and character now. So if they moving like how I want them to move now, they're current moving like a wifey material. Would I hold that 2-year time frame against them? Probably not. You know, but I do want to know those things. Now, she's been sloppy her whole life, you know, 15, 16, 17, 20 something. She's just always been sloppy. Then, yeah, I'm probably not going to want to make her my wife, you know, and that's just me personally. I say this, women don't ask guys their body count, but women are frown up on guys that have low body count. Like because there is that perception, like how you just said about most people exploiting sexuality. Nah, there's some guys out here that's 30 years old, 31 years old that only slept with 3-4 girls, you know, that don't have that. And I've seen women do look at those guys like, why he don't have a high body count, you know, because women typically look at men to have that experience, and they want to feel that they got somebody that a lot of women won't. So when the guy doesn't have that, I think it's kind of opposite in that way. But I think women are more concerned about a guy's financial ability. The same way men want something for women, women want something for men. It's just that we don't complain when women tell us, hey, we want a guy making this certain amount of money. We want a guy that's in shape. Women, if we giving you what you want in a man as far as being able to provide, why is there always a complaint when a guy wants something from a female? And a lot of guys, they want that kind of pure essence from a female. That's what guys value in a female. The same way females value a guy being able to provide a certain income and lifestyle in certain situations.
Caprice, man, talk to me about these body counts, man. These joints really matter up out here, man.
Is my headphones working?
Yeah, we hear you.
I really don't think it matters. I think it's a talking point for men, especially if they say if a woman tell you her body count multiply by 3 or you can't believe her. It's like, why ask if you ain't gonna believe what she say? I feel like what you should worry about is how she carry herself. Like, would you date a woman that only had 3 bodies, but you coming in contact with these same 3 men all the time? Or would you rather date a woman that she told you she had about 30 bodies, but you don't know none of them men, you ain't been around them, and they ain't in your area? So which one matters?
I want you to recycle the 3 men. Go ahead.
Huh?
He said he would rather
Say
you
it
just
again?
recycle the 3 men.
Yeah, because I know there are girls that do that. They say they don't want to
Matt,
have
let's
body
not
count.
get into this, Matt, because the last time we had this question, you did not say that. You said you
What did I
rather
say?
the 30 if you don't have to come in contact with them. Am
No,
I right,
didn't say
Kevin?
that. No. Incorrect.
He did not say that.
Because Kevin said I was wrong for not saying that. Because Kevin said if I got to see those guys all the time, I should prefer that. I said no, I would rather the guys I see all the time rather than the 30.
Bruh.
Because y'all laughed at me when I said that.
Okay, so I'm a chime in. I don't know nothing about none of this. Me personally, I don't really give a fuck about what you did in your past. All I care about is how we operate in the future. If it's been 30 dudes, I don't give a fuck about that. I care about how we move going forward. Every one of us got a past. A lot of us, you know, even the men, past ain't really worth you stepping forward and moving higher. So me personally, I don't care nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? All I care about is how you operate forward. And then when it comes, as far as that whole thing about encountering people, I think things come off different when you let people know certain stuff. Like if we happen to be some way, let me know. Like one of the worst feelings that people go through is when it's almost like everybody know what's going on except you. You know what I'm saying? Right. So me personally, I really don't give a fuck about her body count. I don't really care. Like, dude, if I'm with you now, it's about how we move forward now. I ain't here to judge your past, sweetheart. Because I ain't coming with you. I ain't moving across for you to judge mine. So whatever you did before is whatever you did before. Now, that's just me personally.
Me
Okay, so
personally, I still want the awareness. I still want it.
Okay, so say if you ask that question and she tell you, are you gonna believe what she say?
If I ask about her body count,
the men that ask these questions, you don't ask that question, so you don't need to answer that.
yeah, I wouldn't even ask the question because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, for the people that ask the question, if she tell you the number, are you gonna believe that she's telling the truth?
I don't know, fellas.
Me personally, yeah, I will.
You gonna believe him?
Me personally, if I ask you the question, I'm asking for a reason. So I'm not just asking it just to see anything about or feeling insecure or not. No, I'm asking for a reason because I want to know if I can have a future with you. So if I want to know what's going on in your past, the past matters to me because a lot of people don't deal with their past. So we can't have a future if your past keep coming up. So I want to be aware of what's going on. That's why.
How would the past keep coming up? Like you're saying, if you keep coming around is the person that she slept with, because like how can
it's not about me being around them, it's about them being around them.
Yeah, it's like when you hire some. It's like when you hire somebody for a job, you see that they switch jobs every 3 months. You know, why should I invest in this person if you shown throughout your history you can't commit to nothing? That's how
I don't think a job analogy is good in that aspect, because what if like it's a better opportunity, they get paid more money.
Well, I wouldn't say resume. People lie on their resume, so that would go back to what she proposed about what if a motherfucker, would you even believe what they say? Because niggas lie on their resumes all the time. So I definitely wouldn't say
me personally, I've never asked that question to a person I was interested in. If I had a homegirl that was a friend and we just talked about a lot of stuff, I've asked that question and typically get an answer because I wasn't interested in them. We just vibe, we just real cool friends. But someone I'm interested in, I've never asked that question. But I know how to ask certain questions that kind of give me an idea of how they've been moving. Like this girl I took out a few months ago. We was talking and we was thinking. She was telling me about college. She had funny college, and I kind of, we drank, and I kind of threw out there. Oh, you must. That's when you had your whole face. Like in the middle of the conversation, she laughed and was like, "Yeah." So that tells me she agreed with that. That means it's certain questions you can ask around, like in a natural conversation, to kind of get how she's been moving. And then there's certain girls they talk about. They've been with a guy 6 years, or you can tell how they carry themselves, how much they only been in a few relationships. The people, how they bring you around their family, how their family reacts to them in their life, and you kind of get an idea. Okay, this girl don't seem like she really been around. She don't seem like she's been around the block a lot. She seems like she's been one of these girls that kind of had maybe 3-4 boyfriends, maybe messed around here and there, but she don't say she's been out there just reckless. So I think it would go on how they move and just ask them like certain previous lifestyle questions. But I definitely think it's a factor though.
I understand it for the men that actually gonna believe what the woman say when she tell you. But if you got all these men out here saying like, "Oh, I asked a question, but I ain't gonna believe what she said," it's like, what is the point? But I mean, if you want to know that, I don't even think you should insinuate or ask other questions around it. Just ask the question.
I agree with what Izzy said though when she said, because some guys, not all guys, some guys may really want to know because they want to know how's your past going to affect your present and your future, like me and Kev. But there are some guys that want to know because they know a woman that has more experience typically is going to require a higher performance from them. So a guy know that this woman had a lot of experience, so I'm gonna be judged based on the experience that she's had. So I think that's definitely a factor in some guys. I've heard some guys say that, it's gonna be hard to please her. She done dealt with all type of guys, she done dealt with all type of scenarios. So I think some guys don't want the performance barrier to be there. They want a girl that doesn't have that much experience because it's easier to please them.
I don't know about the performance. For me, it's more so about learned behavior. Like if you was a hoe, you're not gonna just snap out of that.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I said me and you probably, based on what we were saying, that's why I said me and you don't think like that. But there are, she had mentioned that, and I was letting her know. I've heard guys say that, it's harder to please women that have that higher body count. But proceed.
But I also agree that women should ask the same question.
So is that
And
a double standard? Like if a man was a hoe,
I was just
cannot
about
be
to
a
say
hoe. He
that.
can't
I was just
snap
about
out
to
of
say
being a
that.
hoe. Is that a double standard?
It is.
Life is
Go ahead.
about
I'm
double
asking
standards.
Kevin.
I think those. I think the double standards
What was the
should be
question?
there.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear, what was the question again?
I, I said, is it a double standard if you're saying like, oh, a woman could be a hoe, a woman can't be a hoe in her past life and then just snap out of it. So can a man be a hoe in his past life and just snap out of it?
No. That's why I said that women should ask the same question.
And you make the
See,
future
a lot of
example.
men don't share that. A
Yeah.
lot of men don't share that same view with you. You not putting it on. You putting it on the evil playing scale. A lot of men say it's a double standard. Like men are allowed to do that and then not be hoes no more, but women are not allowed to do that.
But a lot of men that are asking these
So I
questions
get it from your point of view if that's how you're going with it. But a lot of men don't carry it that same way.
Yeah, I just feel like it just cuts out a lot of time.
Yeah, and they show. I mean, I hate pulling up. You don't like this, Kevin. I hate pulling up statistics when I don't have them in front of me. But I've heard Jordan Peterson and certain people have said the likelihood of women being faithful when they have that body count. They done studies and it is lesser where women have had those more sexual experiences in the past. Now I don't have nothing in front of me to kind of show that. But I've heard guys like that say that, and people have done studies to show that women that have had high sexual passes and are typically less faithful in relationships later on.
I feel like that's in general. I feel like men that have high body counts are just as
same
unfaithful.
thing.
Yeah, so that's why I say I feel like
So
both sides.
y'all don't think hoes get wife?
I don't think they
hoes
should.
get
Some
wife.
people don't care about that much. Like KJ just said he don't really care about it. So there are some guys that they don't even care about it at all. So they'll still wife that joint.
What if she was a good hoe?
And I'm not even saying that I believe because she has that previous high body count that she can't be changed. I do think if you want to, you can proceed with a woman and she can be a good wife to you and that not play a factor. But I want somebody that's kind of like had that history there.
All right, people. Let's move on. I knew that body count conversation would kind of lead on. I knew when I put it down. I knew it was going to do that. All right, let's dig into this thing. Should men expect sex after spending money on a date? Should men expect sex after spending money on these dates? I want to talk to the women first, man. Y'all fellas, y'all crazy. Let's see. Izzy, talk to me, man. Should men expect sex after spending money on these dates?
Hell no. I don't think so at all. Okay. And honestly, it just depends on it really depends on, again, the motives of both people, truly. But if you're in the instance of dating seriously, I don't think so. And the reason why I say this is because I don't know, okay, so there's this the Dave Chappelle comedy. He was saying that I forgot in one of the skits that he was saying, but he's basically talking the value of of a woman's her assets, right? So it's I feel like if you just give it away after the first date, it's okay, it's you didn't even there's nothing to work towards, you know what I mean? There's nothing to really build on. I feel guys being guys and being in their who they are as people, guys if they're attracted to you enough to take you on a date, they're gonna want to want to have sex immediately, but it's I just feel you have to kind of like, pace that. Like there's always time to like, for that down the road if they've earned certain things. See, just like they have to earn your trust and earning to know you as a person, they have to earn that as well. Like if you just give it out on the first date, it's like, okay, like what do I even work towards? Like, do I even have to try, any more than I already have, like, and like, not, and like, it's in the back of your head that you're making a standard that's saying like, hey, like, okay, so this is her worth. Like I can just, buy her, some food, maybe like, we can watch a movie and then like expect sex. Like who's to say that guy is going to think like, okay, so like any guy can just take her out on one date. She's going to have sex with anybody. Like, so it's like they're gonna be thinking like in the back of their head, okay, so like, I could get this chick that easy, so she's probably just like easy. And like, again, like if you're trying to date seriously. If you're just trying to have fun, absolutely do what you want to do, but in the terms of dating seriously, that's what I think.
So
let me ask you a question right quick before you move on.
Go ahead.
That kind of sounds like a contradiction to me, because if you don't really care about body count, you think it's a bad question, why are you so concerned about what a guy perceives if you give it up too quick then? Because it kind of like there is some concern there on being, you say you're thinking about being seen as easy or being seen a certain way or giving the wrong impression. If you don't care about body count, that shouldn't be a concern then.
See, I don't care about body count, but I'm like thinking of like how like, the relationship is going to be moving forward. It's to protect you. It's to protect the woman and the man. Like the man it's going to be this thing where it's going to be like a low effort relationship. I feel like, if you're just like giving yourself out easy, I don't care. Like, again, like body count is like shouldn't be like a factor. I agree. Like, but at the same time, it's like you still, if you're dating seriously, I don't think that like, this is me personally. Anybody else can think something differently. Like this is like, I think a subjective thing, but like for me and from what I've seen and like, my life, I feel like, when you give yourself way too easy, you're going to get ghosted a little bit easier, like that's just how it is. That's the name of the game. Like you're going to learn. It's like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like women, again, because of our placement in the world, like I can't, like, I don't think it matters, but we can't ignore like what we're dealing with. So it's like, we're dealing with guys who like, do care about the body count because they are going to ask and they are going to, insinuate certain things when you do certain things. And I have to be aware of that as well. Like, I don't think it matters, but I have to be aware about the actual situation. I can't ignore that as well, So I don't know. That's how I move accordingly.
I got
you. So before I move to Caprice, I want to ask a question from what it is that you said. Fellas, do y'all look at that like that? Like when y'all cross this chick, if y'all manage to hit her on the first night, do y'all be like, oh man, I got this joint super easy? Do y'all view that like that? Kev?
Yeah.
Okay. Nate?
If I get it too easy, I don't think I want it. Because it's there. It's there. If I know I can get it easy, I can go to it at any time. But nah.
Okay.
Let me retract that a little bit. It depends on the timing. If it's been a couple days, yes, I look at it like that. But if we've been talking for a month or some change and this is our first time, really, no, I wouldn't look at it as easy.
Matt.
That alone, no. Not just because I hit it like early, that alone wouldn't make me look at her no differently. Because there's sometimes that women may have just got out of a bad relationship and they're trying to get over something. Like I would still have to know the history and ask those questions. Because you have women that got a relationship and then just sleep with a guy that they just met because they're trying to get over something or, something just happened. So now I wouldn't just think, oh, just because she had sex with me, that means she got a high body count. Or it would definitely be in my head, but I would still have to ask other questions. That alone wouldn't make me come to a full conclusion.
Oh man, yo, before Matt had answered just now, I was thinking in my mind, damn, I might be the only nigga who think I don't think this way at all. Like, even if I slay that dragon that first night, I'm not looking at it like, yo, she easy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that don't cross my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like for some reason that's not what crossed my mind. And I guess it's maybe because I done been around chicks and see niggas be putting in all kind of effort and they don't get no way. and I done been that type of dude that was able to come through, and I was able to get it. So I think because I was able to come behind some of these dudes and watch these guys put in effort, and I was able to get it, I'm like, she can't be too easy because you, y'all ain't got it. But I'm in there, home run. So I that's why I don't think that. I've seen too many fail. So I guess I don't. That's why I personally don't think that way. But that's pretty neat, know that y'all think like that. Okay, Caprice, talk to me, man. Talk to me. Should men expect? Oh, there you go again. You off mute, but we ain't hearing you.
We ain't getting no sound. Nothing.
Terrible. All right. I got a question.
We heard all that, though. Whatever you just said, we heard all that.
I got a question. This is more so for the women, but
I want to answer the first question.
Oh, my
I'm
bad.
sure
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Kev.
About the so you said rephrase the question again about the money.
Oh, should men expect sex after spending money on a date?
This is a yes or no answer, but it's like it just depends. It depends on circumstance. It's like yes, depending on who she is and what she's done before. It is. Don't give it to these guys easy, then get to me, then want to date and want to go on movies and shit. No, I want it after I get paid. After I pay like everybody else, I want to be a paying customer like everybody else. Okay, but if we dating and we're getting to know each other and stuff like that, no, I wouldn't expect it. I don't think you should expect it, but it depends on how she carries herself and what your intentions are.
PK said, dinner movie, happy ending. Just that simple.
I rock with that sentiment. I kind of agree with what Kel was saying, 100%. But I add to it that me personally, yeah, if I'm taking you out on dates, maybe not the first date, but the second or third date, yeah, I ain't necessarily like demanding it or pressuring you to do it, but if you don't give it to me that early, it tells me a lot, because like how even KJ said, he can't come behind guys and got it super quick. Me knowing that and seeing that many times that happens, there's a man that everyone, well, I'll say 90% of women, if you ain't no none or nothing like that, most women, there's a guy out there that can get it easy. And if I ain't that guy, if you ain't that enamored with me, then I ain't the right one for you. Because I only want to be with a woman that loves my dirty draws. She has to be completely into me. If she ain't completely into me and immediately attraction, I'm not even dealing with that no more. If there's I got to take time to know you, and you got to do 20 dates, and you had to walk me in parks and buy this, nah, that's a wrap. That ain't happening no more. Because there's a guy like KJ, they come right behind me, 2 hours, 1 week, and that woman to give it up to him. So nah, I'm not doing it. If I can't get it there early, I'm just not the guy for you.
But is it that she easy, or is it just that he's easy?
It may be me. That's why I'm gonna walk away. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with her. I'm saying I'm not the guy. It's obviously something I'm not doing that she expected to. So I need to find that woman that whatever I'm doing is getting her to that point. And even if we don't have like actual like sex in the first couple dates, like some women there, they'll be really touchy-feely with you. You can tell they really into you. They comfortable coming over. Like, she has to show that I'm really into you and down for whatever early on in the relationship. I'm not going through that process, because I know for sure most women, if I play the percentage games, I'm not saying it's an absolute, but I play the percentage games. Most women, there's a guy out there that'll get that thing in a week, that'll get that thing in 2 days, that'll get that thing in a one-night stand. So if I ain't the guy, then there's someone ranked higher on your sexual, what gets you off as far as what you're attracted to.
Okay. Izzy, I got a question for you.
What's up?
Do you think women like being lied to?
I think In some instances, yes. Honestly, like I want to believe certain things, but in other instances, no. So it's like kind of like a yes and no question. Like we don't want to like make like plans on a false reality because that is really like jaw breaking. But I don't know. I think like truth hurts. The truth
Yeah.
hurts. So it's like, I think I don't think even think that's a woman thing. I think that's a man thing too. Like people want to be told like, oh, you're the best I've ever had, like da 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 da. Like people enjoy being lied to, like or you're the most handsome or whatever. We have huge egos and like to even expect women to have sex on a first date, that's like a huge ego thing. You must think you're something if you're going to expect a woman to give the most intimate part of her to you. So, I mean, in conclusion, yeah, I'm not sure where I was going with that, but yeah.
I got you. Hey, yo, Nate, man, talk to me, man. What you think, man? You think women like being lied to?
I do not think anyone likes to be lied to, truth be told.
Okay.
I think mentally, women, the concept of being lied to, they're against it, but what they react to is this false image of what a guy can present. So, like example, if I'm telling a woman straight truth, a lot of times if that truth isn't something that she fantasizes about, it's not gonna get me to my results. But if I'm lying, it's playing into a fantasy and a perception she may have and may want from a guy that's gonna get her off. So I mean, mentally they can say they don't like lies, but a lot of times they react to guys that lie. The guy that say, "Hey, I ain't driving," the guy that go to Miami and say, "Hey, I ain't gonna rent no car," and post pictures on Instagram saying this is my car. I'm gonna go right out there with my Toyota and say this is my car. She ain't gonna react to that guy than the guy that go out there and rent and lie to her and tell her, "Hey, this Ferrari is mine. This is why I'm riding every day." You know what I'm saying? I got the BD, I got that BD energy. I'm out here making moves. Women will screw that guy before they screw that guy that say, "Hey, my credit ain't that good. I'm out here just like you trying to make it happen." They're gonna react to that guy a little differently. So, they respect that guy mentally. They will respect that guy more. But like, I think God, you ain't lied to me. But they'll screw that other guy and they get upset that he lied to them mentally, but still be like, "I had a great experience sexually. It got me to where I want to go." So that's how I look at it.
Caprice, you think women like being lied to?
And my mic's working now.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yes.
That sounds great.
Bruh. This shit, bruh. All right, what's the question? Do women like being lied to?
Mm-hmm.
In general, yes. Yes, they do. It's perception over reality for a lot of women. For me, no. I don't like to be lied to, so I'm not gonna create you to lie. Like I can tell when somebody is lying. I'm a very observant person. If you tell me something and your actions don't match up with it, I can tell that you lying. Or if I can tell that you withholding information, I'm not even gonna ask you because I don't want you to lie to me.
But will
So
you
I'm gonna let
respond to a
you
lie?
go ahead.
No, I thought you had stopped. My fault. Do you respond to a lie?
I did. What happened?
I said no. I got you respond to the question. I was saying, will you respond to a lie if it plays into what you want? Like example, KJ, you used to training people. There's some fighters that may not like a guy screaming at them, but that me screaming at him and getting on his ass, he actually reacts to this a little better. Even though he say he don't like it, it actually causes some people to react how you need them to react. So some people, they may not like the concept of something happening to them or a lie being told them, but if it gets the reaction that is needed to be there, I'm asking you, does that happen sometimes where if somebody can lie to you or maybe play into something you want and you react to it though, even though you don't like it?
You asking me that?
Yes.
Can't nobody lie to me.
Okay.
That's why I don't give people expectations because
if I do that, that's gonna create you to lie to me. I just build a rapport with you. I see how you moving. I see what you saying to me. I see your actions, and I'm checking off as we going. And then if I get to a point where I'm like, nah, I can't fuck with this nigga, you cut off. We ain't even gonna go to the next step.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yo, Kev, man. What you think, man? You women like being lied to?
Women love being lied to, but hate deception. So they love the lie of, yes, how you look good in the dress. You know he lying. But you don't like,
Mm-hmm.
as long as he's not cheating on you. That's deception. So it's like, y'all wake up in the morning, he said good morning, beautiful. He lying. He know he lying. But
You don't think she had look good with the bottom of her head when you roll over?
What do you mean? So some women not beautiful when they wake up in the morning? I know I'm beautiful when I wake up in the morning.
No, I'm saying some are, but some not. Is what I'm saying. I'm talking about the ones that's being lied to right now.
Wait, hold up. You laughing a little bit too hard. Why you laughing?
He said some are, but then some not.
Some the ones being lied to right now, the ones I'm talking about. But like, but the deception of being, stuff being behind their back or the lying by omission, like that spectrum of lying. No, I would say. But I feel like I kind of agree with Nate on that. Like, that's anybody.
So I definitely agree with Kevin. I think women like to be sold these dreams. Like, I do agree they don't like to feel deceived, but I think these women like to be sold these dreams, man. They like to hear that like women, especially nowadays, women are super egotistical too. So they like for you to massage their ego as well. They like that. Mm-hmm. It's like how some of them women love these compliments over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the reasons why a lot of the women ask these questions. You know what I'm saying? Like they like to be sold a dream.
Yeah, and like how when kids they look up to their dad and they believe their dad is the strongest person in the entire world. You heard men that say when they saw their daddy crying all the time, when mom did something, they saw their daddy hurt. It changed their perception of their dad a lot of times. They want to believe that my dad is the strongest person in the entire world and nothing affects him, which creates that kind of that scenario with men put on that persona for even their kids, because I think women are the same way. When they look to their man, they want to believe my man can handle anything that comes along. So I believe if you being honest to a woman in certain situations, you like, nah, I can't really deal with that. Or she's seeing weakness, or you like, hey, I don't really want to fight that guy. He might be a little bigger than me. So I believe even there's ways. So women like to believe that I can get everything from this guy.
So who is easier to lie to? Men or women?
Women.
Men or women?
I think when women catch on. I think when women catch on, honestly, I think women are a little bit more clever in the way they lie, honestly, if they choose to. So honestly, because I feel like naturally men expect us to be like more morally correct. Like I feel like it would be, so their guard is down. I feel like men would be easier to lie to because you're already expecting us to like not lie. Like we already probably had a history of being lied to or being cheated on by a man. Women cheat too as well, but more so men. So it's like we're already have that in the back of our mind that could of possibilities that could happen. But I feel like men could be easier to lie to potentially because you're not expecting us to lie to you. Truly,
it's kind of hard for me. I believe both, but at the same time, we like to have concrete evidence of whatever we accuse the female of. So most guys ain't gonna leave until they red-handed or they got evidence they their wife or their woman actually did what they accused them of. So we have to have we don't like to just make decisions based on how we feel or what we think because of how a person's moving. We like to have more factual evidence to go off of. So I believe in that sense, women typically are able to fool a lot. Not maybe fool them, because guys know that they women moving different or think something's going on, but they won't react until they actually have some type of proof.
I definitely agree with Izzy. I definitely think it's easier to a lot of men than it is to women. Because of the way the ego is with a lot of men.
Ego
I
too,
think she was homing in pretty good. Most guys are so they feel that they so secure in their position, they don't even see the lie right there. But since we're talking about these lies, I got a question, man. More so for the ladies. Do women really believe that men really like them like that? Like they like them to the extent of when they come around and be like, yo, I just want to hang out with you. Like I just want to be your friend. Do women really believe men just like them like that? That they just
No.
really just like being in their presence?
No, I don't think so.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. Now we heard you. We heard you.
No.
Fellas, y'all, what y'all think? Y'all think women really believe that we like them like that?
No, but it don't matter because they still let us come over. It really don't, because you can. I feel like women know, or a lot of times whether they being lied to or not. But whether she accept it, that's her choice. It depends on that point, to me.
Okay. All right, I got about two more of these things, man. So we're gonna shift it a little bit. Who typically plants greater expectations upon their children? Men or women? Who typically plants, a greater expectation on their children? Men or women? Yo, Nate, I'm gonna start with you, man. You been quiet for a little minute.
I'm gonna have to say women probably set better expectations for their children, because anybody's mama is always going to say something positive about their child versus a father, which really won't say much because he's trying to be masculine. I'm gonna have to give it to the females on that one.
Okay. Matt, what you think, man? Who you think put greater expectations on their kids? The men or the women?
I would say overwhelmingly men. I think females, they're going to support their child no matter what. They don't really have, and their expectations are very low. As long as my child don't get killed and he can get out of school, I did a good job. Men have these expectations. NBA, NFL, you're gonna be a boxer, you're gonna have this business. What I'm saying? We put high expectations, or you need to be a great fighter. Women, long as my child ain't got killed or he made it out of school, I'm okay with that. So that's one of the reasons they talk about like having a father in the home, because women typically do have these low expectations of their kids. It's the minimum, minimum of surviving. They're just trying to get you out the house alive, really. You know what I'm saying? More so the men that actually have more of a career path and future goal for their kids.
Caprice, what you think, man? Who put greater expectations on, or more realistic expectations on their children?
You can hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
I'm gonna say involved present fathers put a greater amount of expectation on their children than women. Women coddle their children too much, baby them too much to the point where it enables them, or they don't push them to their potential. Fathers, they don't care about none of that soft shit. Like, you gonna do what I say you gonna do, and this is how you gonna do it. So I do think fathers that are involved and present have way more expectations put on the children.
Okay. Kev, talk to me, man. Who you think doing this a little more realistically?
I think it kind of depends on whether it's a son or daughter to a certain degree. I think women put more expectations on their daughters,
right,
and men put more expectations on their sons. I guess, but overall, I would say I would lean more towards the father, But really, too, it depends on the parents. Because if they ain't doing shit with their life, they ain't got no expectations on their kids at all. So if I had to pick one, I would say men.
Izzy, the question was, who do you think tend to put more realistic expectations on their children, men or women?
It depends, honestly. That question is kind of like loaded with like, cultural background, who the parents are, what the parents have done versus what they're expecting, like certain traumas and generations. So, I mean, all in all, I think like more so, I feel like women kind of put a little bit more so pressure on the children to like get it together, because think about it, like women are kind of expected in society to kind of be like the glue of the household in terms of like raising the children, making sure like they're presentable, decent human beings in society. And I feel like I'm not a mom, so I can't really say how they should feel, but I feel like they kind of have like they feel like their children are a reflection of them, personally. Fathers can feel this way as well, but I feel like it's a different role when you actually birth like a child, honestly, and you have to like raise that child rather than providing them and making them money for the household.
Okay. I missed somebody. That was
No, I think you
everybody.
got everybody.
So yeah, I totally agree with what Kev has said. I think now if I was to speak overall, I think expectations are way more higher amongst the men and what they set for, even for their daughters and their sons overall. But I do think it does depend. I think men are more harder on their sons as far as their expectations, and they're a little bit lighter on their daughters. But I think men overall still kind of keep up. They still kind of want their daughters to be pretty grounded. You know what I'm saying? I think mothers are a lot more hard on their daughters to a certain degree though,
Yeah, I was
because
about to say.
to a certain degree, 'cause I think like Cal made a point. If we're dealing with people who don't have their own stuff together, I mean the expectations pretty ain't don't really go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these women ain't got their stuff together. So I mean it is what it is.
I would also say it goes by it's kind of hard to say that for a daughter because men and women value different things for their daughters. Like a lot of women may value more career, in their daughter having a certain look, and more men may value their daughter actually being a wife later on in life. So that their expectations are more geared towards, finding a certain type of man or being having a certain type of character. And women expectations are more based on they want their woman to get a career. So you won't have to depend on a man as much. Just in case things fall apart, you have that backup plan or being successful. So it's kind of hard to tell because I believe that expectations of their daughter lies in different places. If you
I
have a
don't
father
know.
that's actively there.
I don't know. There's a lot
I
of
don't
fathers
know
that teach
about
their
that.
daughters that too. There's a lot of fathers that teach their daughters
Yeah.
not to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. It's not a father to do the same thing, but
There's a lot of fathers that push that independence for their daughters as well.
yeah, because people live in so much fear now. It's like a lot of people when they're dealing with women now. I don't know what's they live in that. I don't because I have met some women that been with one guy their whole life and didn't go to school or didn't get that like work background, and it's definitely you could definitely tell they're a little slower in the way they move. They're a little naive, they're a little slower. A lot of time, not all the time. No disrespect to a lot of the women that have been housewives their whole life. But when you see a woman that maybe, even if she don't got school and she's been out there working, she's been out there paying bills, when she's let on her own, she can maneuver a lot more well than a woman that she went from her daddy to her husband and she never worked. Some of these women, they've been in those positions and they might get a divorce later on and they don't even know how to drive. A lot of questions they're slow on. So I can see why people have that fear in some instances where I don't want you to be like that. I want my woman, if things do fall apart, to have that, educational background or have the ability to just be able to survive on your own. But I think it just needs to be a little balanced.
Okay. All right, y'all. This is our final one. What y'all think about this question? Is expectation and reality few and far between? So we talked a lot about expectations. Are our expectations and our reality few and far between? What y'all think about this? Nate, talk to me, man. What you think?
I feel like they're far away because people expect so much, but it's not reality, like realistic what they expect. So I'm gonna say it's pretty far away. They expect more than what they get in reality.
Cool. Izzy, what you think? Reality and expectations, are they few and far between?
Honestly, yes. And I say this not even just because of like relationship wise, in terms of like even in life in general, like, like when you were younger, maybe like at a certain age, you thought you were going to be married, like, have this career, have children, all that. But it's like, living life, it's like, wow, that actually didn't actually happen. And, I do, that's still a goal of mine, but, there's still things that I have to line in my life and myself in order to like achieve certain things. So I just feel like, it's good. I feel like with that, with reality and expectations, I think it's good to set goals for something to aim so you can have something to expect. But I don't know, sometimes it's all in timing and everything. So sometimes you can fall short of like, some goals at a certain stage that you thought you were going to accomplish them. But yeah, I think that the reality of some things, life just happens and sometimes it's out of your control. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just good on all in all just to set goals for certain things so you have something to expect.
Cool. Caprice, what you think, man? Think these things, reality and expectations, few and far between?
Yes, I do believe that people set expectations that's not realistic, or they set expectations that they can't even live up to. So, yeah, I think it's far in between.
Matt, what you think, man?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Caprice, but I think it's not that it's not. I mean, I guess it's not realistic if you don't put the work in. It's based on most people. They have these expectations, but they think it's just they just going to pray it there, or it's just one day they're going to luck up and it's just going to happen. So a lot of people have expectations without no wanting to put the work in to get what they're expecting. They just want it to come to them. So yeah, it would be far in between if they're not putting that work in to get there.
Kev, man, what you think, man? Few and far between?
I think people shoot for the stars and hope they land on the moon. I think I know people in Columbia, South Carolina, whose expectations are in Tokyo right now. It's crazy. It's like
Man,
that much distance between reality and expectation. And I think a lot of times, like people make expectations to feel better about their reality. So
Yep.
it's like a
Definitely.
booster of self-confidence. So I'm going to, like I said, shoot for the stars, hoping that it's going to maybe, like Matt said, luck out and land somewhere in the middle. But I think a lot of people they're not real enough with themselves and don't want to be real enough with themselves to have realistic expectations.
Yeah, because I believe like TV and movies have created a dynamic where people feel like if they're not shooting from the stars, then they're not living a fulfilled life, or they're settling or they're complacent. It's like kind of shame with that. Like you should be dream big. You remember when we was in kid with Lamara or whatever, it was always dream big, aim for the stars. That was kind of preached to kids coming up. So I believe a lot of people they look at these movies, they look at social media, whatever. They believe if I don't have this big car, I don't have this big house, I don't have this this top supermodel wife, then I'm not good enough. Where it's really just a marketing scheme to keep us as consumers. So
most definitely. I don't even really need to chime in because I pretty much agree with y'all. I definitely think
Yes,
it's
you
few and
do.
far. I think it's few and far between, man. I mean, pretty much to capitalize on what Matt and Kev said. Like, I mean, people aim big. I mean, I think the way that they shoot, man, is very, very far fetched, man. And it's like they just aiming, but like nobody's realistic. I don't think nobody really looks at they current situation and deal with what's right there in front of them. I think we more fascinated with, because in all honesty, most people aren't happy with themselves anyway. So most people are trying to be something else anyway. So then when you get into the idea of talking about like relationships and anything else like that, it's not going to work out because people don't deal with what's directly in front of them anyway. They rather aim and shoot for those stars, man. Like Hakel said, and trying to land on the moon. So,
but it's kind of like with the when you ask about the parents and expectations, or the expectations they put on their children. Do parents really even teach real like, you know, what's realistic and what's not?
Yeah, a lot of them. I mean, you have some doing, some don't. It just really depends on that placement of them parents too. It's kind of like how you said earlier, like yo, they ain't really got much going on for themselves. They ain't gonna pretty much give you too many real expectations to go for because they ain't shot for nothing. So what they gonna tell you to shoot for when they ain't got number blanks and they unloaded over there? They can't shoot. They ain't nobody shooting at nothing. We just
so they can't tell you what the expectation is, and they won't be real about the what's going on, like the reality. Yeah. So the kids are shot.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like them participation trophy parents. I hate it.
Oh man, you don't get a trophy just for showing up?
That's
crazy. No. My kid is in gymnastics, and if she not doing good, I will tell her, "You suck. You need to do better."
Oh yeah, I'm notorious for that, boy. I'm talking trash.
I'm the same way. They tell me I've done this with this girl I used to date. She had kids, and I used to be hard on them. And other people, they see how hard I'm on the kids. They say I ain't shit. Let them kids have fun. Let them kids win some games. I said, nah, they got to earn everything dealing with me. Everything got to be earned.
I told
especially for these men, these boys.
I told that to my nephew one time. I said, "Damn, boy, I drove an hour and some change down here, and you barely could dribble. I could have stayed where I was at. I ain't had no business coming down here. This is stupid." All right, people, listen. That was good. It wasn't painful, not at all. So, before we get up out of here, I know the era that we live in, so I want everybody to run their plugs, go through and tell the people where they can find what you got going on, because it's just what we do nowadays. Kev, talk to the people. Tell them where they can find you at, man.
Kevin's Perspective, YouTube. You can follow me, like, share, subscribe.
Most definitely. Great content from over that way. Yo, Nate, man, talk to him, man. Where they can find you at?
Follow me on IG at LK_Hale.
Cool. Izzy, where the people can find you at, man?
Alrighty. You can follow me on Instagram at IzzyOjo94. That's pretty much the only thing you can follow me on. But yeah, follow.
You sound so professional. I want to follow you just because of the way you sound. I ain't even. Caprice, people can find you, or you still letting them know they can't find you?
They cannot find me.
Y'all ain't no need to look for it. All right, Matt, come on, talk to me, man. Where the people can find you?
Coming soon, man. Still coming soon. Okay, I get it together.
Definitely,
Coming soon.
That's a fact.
Most definitely. So this right here, definitely
Vocal Visions Network coming soon as well. So that's on the table. Let everybody know.
Oh yeah, man. There's a lot more work coming. A lot more work coming from the gang. We build it. It's a lot more things out there, man. So we definitely working. But this right here was
y'all need to make some different color shirts.
Look at you.
Yeah, and y'all need to make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button, and also leave a comment. I know y'all got comments about these topics. We've seen the views going up, so go ahead and express your comments, and we'll reply to it definitely.
That boy good.
Yeah, Caprice gonna wear every shirt that we make. She gonna wear all of them.
Yeah, so she better make
sure some different colors.
All right, y'all people, we is definitely out.
All right.